Sunday Night Football final post-game interview with Chiefs receiver Juju Smith-Schuster, available on demand on Peacock until 7 p.m. Eastern tonight. Superlatives time for Week 9. We get right to it. Myles, what do you have?
Let's go to Las Vegas because there are some Las Vegas lead blowers over there, right? I mean, they were up 17-0 over the Jacksonville Jaguars and then lost that game 27-20. It's the third time that they have had a lead of at least 17 points this season and blown it. It's ridiculous, it's inexplicable when you have somebody like Davante Adams who finished with 1 catch for 3 yards last week. They got him involved. He had 9 catches for 146, 2 touchdowns in the first half alone, and finished with 10 catches for 146 yards and 2 touchdowns. How does that happen? How does that happen? I don't understand what's going on in Las Vegas, but I put it out there on Twitter last night, Mike. I don't think it's unreasonable to ask at this point if Josh McDaniels is going to be one and done.
Oh, somebody raised me last Sunday. Hey, why is all this heat on Nathaniel Hackett when McDaniels is doing such a crappy job? It's like, well, because the owners in Denver didn't hire their guy. Right. Mark Davis hired this guy, but Mark Davis can unhire Josh McDaniels if he chooses to do so. He can bring back Rich Bisaccia if he wants to do it. He can bring back John Gruden, frankly, if he wants to do it. And crazier things have happened this month. So I'm not trying to suggest he'll bring back Bisaccia or Gruden, but he can do whatever he wants. It's one of the benefits of holding the ownership papers of the team. And I was stunned by this one. This was one, Sims and I disagreed on it last week, so it's one I was paying attention to. I saw the Raiders were up big, so, you're watching 8 games at once. I stopped focusing on that game, and I look up and I see it's 24-20. It's like, what the hell has gone on in Jacksonville, but not good for the Las Vegas Raiders. I usually pride myself on coming up with a somewhat witty name for an award. This kind of sounds more like a Chris Berman nickname, Joe Mixon it up. But he did. 5 touchdowns yesterday. Team record. And I talked to him afterward. He had no idea this was coming. He had no idea his number was going to get called. He just keeps himself ready. He hasn't had a big year. His rushing totals were down. The Bengals haven't been running the ball. They haven't been able to run the ball. Their offensive line hasn't been good. Short week, blown out by the Browns, embarrassed by the Browns, turned it around, and completely embarrassed the Panthers. Got guys fired from that coaching staff. Myles, you made the point earlier during break. Who the hell is going to be left on that coaching staff? Steve Wilkes firing more guys. Joe Mixon responsible for it with those 5 touchdowns. He said he gave a couple of the balls to his offensive lineman. He gave one to a fan. He's going to keep one for himself, maybe give one to his mom. 5 of them. You don't have to worry about, right, having not enough options for who you're going to give the football to when you got 5 of them to distribute.
Yeah, that was awesome from them. And you know what? I mean, the Bengals, sort of like the Rams against the 49ers, they're never quite as bad as they look against the Browns. For whatever reason, the Browns just kind of have their number. Next one from me, let me call it the Ofer Award. And this one's going to the Colts because they were 0 for 14 on 3rd down plus 0 for 2 on 4th down. And my goodness, they look terrible. Sam Ehlinger took 6 sacks on 3rd down. He had 9 sacks total. It was just an abject disaster for the Colts on offense. I mean, every 3rd down, it practically seemed like, oh, yeah, that's going to be a sack. I mean, I don't know if firing Frank Reich and Chris Ballard before the end of the season is going to really have any advantage for Jim Irsay and the Colts, but it's starting to get that kind of inevitable feel that we got with the Panthers and Matt Rule. I mean, you put Sam Ehlinger in there, you fire Marcus Brady as the offensive coordinator. They're kind of out of answers, and I think the buck is going to stop at Ballard and Reich.
Well, Jim Irsay has said it's not, but how can it not? And Chris Ballard has put together a great team, but the problem is these swings and misses with quarterbacks. And the only good news that comes out of this is if they end up so bad, they rise up in the standings without being accused of tanking, even if that's exactly what they're doing, and they get themselves a franchise quarterback and they can try to move forward. But yeah, yesterday was horrendous for the Colts, and it's not getting any better. And they still somehow have 3 wins and a tie this year. That's what's amazing. 3-5-1. They don't feel like a 3-5-1 team. They feel like a 1-7 team at this point. The next one for me, and it's too good to even justify a name, which is my cover for not really having a good enough name for it. But this celebration from the Vikings, and I tried to do a head count. First of all, there's only 10 pins in a bowling alley. Second of all, they're lined up in a triangle not a big cluster, but after Harrison Smith intercepted Taylor Heineke to put the Vikings in business after they were down 10 and left for dead, he rolls the ball. Now, I didn't think you were allowed to join the celebration from the sidelines. There's no way that those are the guys who are on the field. That's more than 10 guys there. Isn't that more than 10? I got to freeze frame that and count it, but that seems like more than 10 guys, and then there's the last one to go down. That was an excellent celebration. The Vikings kind of pioneered that back in 2017, the year they got to the NFC Championship. They were having fun. That was the year that these celebrations, group efforts were allowed, and love to see the Vikings do it. As long as they all keep their helmets on, that's all fair game.
Yeah, exactly. No, look, that's the way it should be when you're winning like that. You know, when you keep making plays, you get turnovers. Celebrate. It's hard to do those things. Have fun.
14 is the official count, according to the control room. So, number one, that's not bowling, at least not any bowling I'm used to, which I'm horrible at. And number two, probably had some guys in that celebration that shouldn't have joined the celebration from the sideline. And again, that is one of the no-nos for the No Fun League, although they do allow guys to have that kind of fun. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.